Hi everyone, Tiago here, and we're going to start with our asana practice. So get your mat and let's start. So welcome everyone, and we're going to start today our morning practice, in which the theme will be how to be fresh. So as long as we're fresh, we have enthusiasm, we have motivation, and we have this, let's say, a more easy way of functioning during our day. So what is like freshness? So how can we understand freshness from yogic angle, and how can you bring into the mat? That's going to be our today's practice. So always we're trying to understand what is the background behind any alignments and engagement and expressions we are doing. So freshness, so if you see, life is fresh. Huh? So if you can hear, there is birds singing, there is trees, there is clouds, everything, the sun is shining, even though it's a little bit cloudy today. But this whole creation is nothing but a manifestation in which is all the time fresh. So why, as human beings, we are not fresh? Because we still have this mind conditions, mind holdings, in which we bring the past into the moment as a filter of our conditions, and in that we lose our freshness. And that's why we can see that animals, we see dogs, how fresh they are. If you see babies, how new and energetic they are. Because they don't carry this burden that we as humans have carried through our life experience. So to be fresh is to align to that manifestation process, which is freshness in itself. Now we said all this, how can we adopt on the mat? That's going to be our today's practice. So first, you can just take a comfortable sitting position, so before we start to the class, and you can place the hands in Chin Mudra, and you can take any position in which feels comfortable for you. So if you need to be in half lotus, you can be half lotus. If you feel that you need to be in full lotus, you can be in full lotus. If it's just Sukhasana, it can be in Sukhasana. If you need something, I need support, you can also feel free to do so. And just allowing the mind to be fresh by not bringing any expectations, not bringing what you have to do next in your office or your obligation responsibilities. For now, totally unconditioned, without any particularity, any expectation, any strong intention that you're carrying. And bringing lightness. Lightness is also another very important principle to be fresh. Equal weight in both sitting bones. And we're gonna open up with a chant. Om Bhuva Swaha Tatsavidu Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Prachodayate. And you can open the eyes and just be fresh, new, whatever is happening. Letting the mind just be a pure reflection of this moment. And you can start in rising up. We're just going to start with a quick warm up. So we're just going through all the joints. So we start with the wrists and not making any mechanical movements, even though it can be a little fast or a little slow. The point is not bringing a mechanicality, totally awareness. Equal weight in both feet. Now to the other side. Then you go into the shoulders, just trying to release the shoulders, release the tension. If possible, you can try to touch the elbows, but not forcing. So any kind of hold as we bring, that will create a restriction in our energy flows. To that extent, you're going to be losing our freshness. Now the other side. Then you're going for the neck. So with exhalation, looking to the left. Inhale to the center, exhale to the right. And you can continue this twisting of the neck. Not moving the hips and not moving the shoulders, just the neck is being isolated. Then chin towards the chest. Chin up, not again, not creating holding, not creating tensions on your neck. Inhale, rise up. Exhale. And you're going for now for the hips. You open up the feet a little bit more wider than shoulder width, and just making rotation of the hips. Other side. Then just rising up one foot off the ground and just making rotations with this lower part of your leg. Just really releasing the knee and to the other leg. And now just the ankle. Again, keeping that awareness in everything that's happening in your joints. So that we expand our attention to get a full body awareness. This is very important for our class, to have full body awareness. As much as awareness is this flow of our consciousness, to that extent, we are more and more in this dimension of being fresh, energetic. So we're going to start with some salutations. And for now, we can come on the top of the mat, having the feet close to each other, like 1 centimeter apart. Close the eyes and have your whole body active. So the elbow joints, the wrist, the fingers, the shoulders, the neck, the hips, and you have the equal distribution of weight in both feet, front, back, so that you are establishing this lightness. Lightness means, from this background of expressiveness or freshness, it means that you have this upward energy that is keep you upward. Every time we have this gravity taking over, that you feel more condensed, more heavy, you lose this freshness. And for now, for this first sun salutation, I'm going to explore how to be light. So equal weight in both feet. And as you follow the inhalation, bring both hands in Namaskar in front of the chest, and the hands are very slightly touching each other. So kind of touching, not touching. And now as exhalation happens, you start to sink at the knees, but keep this attention that you are so active, so upward, that you're not increasing weight on your feet. And then you can find the position in which the range of the bending of the knees, in which support this lightness. And now with your next inhalation, starting bringing the hands up, hips to the front, slightly back bending, and trying to find the range of your back bending in which you're not in struggle, even though you're in effort. That effort starts not to creating resistance to you, because any resistance always comes as a mind condition. As much as we bring mind condition, we are not fresh. So feel the effort, but do not let the physicality of the effort create a resistance in your mind. Now, as you follow the exhalation, you can start making a forward fold and keenly observing that your spine is straight. So you're not compromising the straightness of our back. So you need it, you can always feel free to bend the knees, open up the heart, but do not compromise the straightness of the back. There's also a link with this freshness, we're going to talk about this later. And now as you inhale, so we place first the hands so that the fingers in line with the toes. And as you inhale, you can make a step back with the left leg, and you make a position in which the front knee is just above the ankle, and the position of your back foot is such that your spine is straight. So meaning you don't want that your spine, your stance is too short and then you have a round back. Then as you follow the exhalation, you can step back, and then you can bring both feet next to each other in Paravatasana. So it's a kind of downward facing dog, but with both feet close to each other. Now balance, involving your body, having that full body awareness, and distribute the weight so that hands and feet, as far as possible, equal weight. And trying to see that you're not pressing anything. Pressing means holdings. Holdings means, as we said, flow of energy gets stuck. And now as you exhale, you can move into plank as much as you're keeping that equal distribution of weight. And in plank, have a deep breathing, then exhalation. Then you can send now the knees, chest, and the chin in 8 limbs Astanga Pranipadasana. So now as you are in Astanga Pranipadasana, just observe that as far as possible, you are using the strength of the hips to go upward so that you can distribute the weight also in your knees and your toes, so that there is less pressure of your chest and the chin and the hands. That keeps this lightness. And as much each body part is involved, engaged, it means that you keep more this upwardness. Less downward energy, more upwardness, which brings a mind which is more fresh and more clear, because that's the expression of consciousness. Then after next inhalation, extend the spine into Bhujangasana without pushing the ground with your hands. Then with exhalation, maximizing the strength of your lower body to minimize the pushing and pressing of the hands. Then you can come back into Paravatasana and try to make a smooth journey, not jerks. If you make jerks, naturally you're gonna feel more tired. Then with your next inhalation, step into the front with the left leg and just keenly observing that as much as possible, no jerks also. As much as you can step to the front, so your foot placed on the mat, then you can start crawling to make the same position as the previous posture, in that posture, which means that the fingers and toes in the same line, knee just above the ankle, and a big stance that allows your back to be straight. Then with your next inhalation, lifting up the knee, and you can step to the front in Padahastasana. Then with inhalation, starting rising up, hips to the front. Exhalation, hands in Namaskara in front of the chest. Inhalation, now with the full body rising up, not by creating a jerk with the knee, full body up. With control, exhalation, release the arms. So those are some of the principles we saw, and now I go into a little bit more fast sun salutation. So with your next inhalation, bring the hands in Namaskara in front of the chest, subtle touch. Every time we have more subtleness, more freshness, subtle touch of the feet with the mat. Exhalation, that full body sinking, not a jerk, not making a jerk with the knees. Then with inhalation, synchronizing the hands up, hips to the front, slightly back bending. Then with exhalation, making a forward fold, keeping that attention to have the back straight. Inhalation, stepping back with the right leg, place the knee on the ground, proper placement of the front foot, the back foot to keep the back straight. Exhalation, Paravatasana. Then inhale, exhalation, move into plank. Then another big inhalation. And as you fully exhale, place the knee, chest, and chin, softly landing knee, chest, and chin. If needed, you can first place the knee, then the chest and the chin. And now, with inhalation, Bhujangasana, Cobra, not by pressing the hands. Now you can look at me, maybe we are not going all the way up, just as much as we keep that uniformity of the full body. Exhalation, and you can move now to Paravatasana. Inhalation, step to the front with the right leg. Exhalation, lifting up the knee, step to the front. Then inhalation, rising up. Exhalation, bringing the hands in front of the chest. Inhalation, rising up, and you can also drop the hands in synchronicity. Very, very nice. And just making this full stop and sitting. And just allow now you yourself to feel yourself, meaning you're feeling any body sensations, how the breathing is happening, how is the state of your mind, the thoughts, or state of your awareness. So just bring non-judgmental witnessing. And this full stop is very important to have this full stop, because that seeking mode of mind always triggers to go to here, to there, which burns our energy. We lose our freshness. It triggers a future orientation. So now we're going for our first posture. We're going for Trikonasana, and we're going to explore how to bring in lightness even though we are moving towards the floor. So with the next inhalation, you can step in back with the right leg, arm shoulder height. Important is that my front knee is not collapsing inside. For that, my back knee, my back foot should be a little bit pointed inwards. Huh? So my foot's not like this, it's a little bit like this, but my hips a little bit to the front, which makes my front knee in proper alignment. Arm shoulder height. And now I really feel the strength of my leg, the strength of my arms, and I'm not tensing, not creating holdings. And exhalation, a little bit. I'm not just going to the point that I'm not creating more pressure on my front knee. So that I'm involving my whole body to the extent I'm not collapsing. I'm keeping this strength to become up. And you can evolve in this dimension. You don't have to go all the way. It's about extending the lightness, even though you're more in effect of gravity. That dissolves all the body heaviness that you might carry. And that brings this upwardness. That upwardness brings you freshness. Stay in a posture, balancing the equal weight in both feet, equal involvement of the whole body equally. Observe if you're tensing, not tensing. And with inhalation, you can rise up. Exhalation, step to the front. And just make a full pause in sitting. Then now we're going for the same thing to the other side, and I'll let you explore as you feel. So you can make now stepping back with the other leg, proper position of the feet. So back foot, not like this, back foot, a little bit pointed towards the front so I have the proper alignment of my knee. Arms equally strong as my legs, and I'm not forcing, I'm subtle but active. And with exhalation, start making a forward fold, look into my upper hand in that mode of bringing lightness. I'm not compromising my lightness to go to a target. Purpose of posture is not to be in a target, it's how it facilitates your self-expression. See how is breathing is happening. If you feel breath becomes too strong, too fast, or condensed, some holdings you're carrying in your mind, trying to have the mind relax. More mind is aligned in freshness, breath starts to become more easy, naturally. And with your next inhalation, rising up, and exhalation simultaneously, leg to the front as the arms come into sthiti, and you can just close the eyes and just be in this full stop. Not doing anything, just allows the space to be totally available for the happening. And now you're going for a next posture, and you're going for a balanced posture, which has a twist. It's Prasarita Parivitra Tadasana. So with your next inhalation, you can rise up the arms in line with the ears and rising up the heels off the ground. Finding a position of your heels in which you don't need to be pressing with your toes. Trying to find a range in which you feel stable and comfort. Trying to dissolve the doing attitude. There's a placement of the body that you don't need to be constantly in the mode that you are executing something, an action. That availability allows you to be in connection with that expressiveness, which is just this natural flow of manifestation of consciousness into nature, into mind, into prana, and into physicality. And use that to be stable. And with exhalation, along the spine, you're making a twist, just observing to that extent, the effort of the posture is not creating effort on your mind. Equal weight in both feet, and you are just establishing, solving, if there's anything that needs to be observed and solved, meaning all effort you minimize. So that's the direction, huh? We're going towards effort, that effort to give us a possibility to align and adjust to become more effortless. So if it can be effortless in many different postures, how much effortless can we be just when you're functioning? That brings this freshness. Inhalation, untwisting. Exhalation, lower the arm, heels on the ground. And just make this full stop. And you can go now for your self-practice to the other side. Inhaling, rising up with the heels off the ground, arms in line with the ears. Exhalation, keeping that balance in both feet along the spine, making a twist. And observe the display of effort, no effort. Doing, not doing. Huh? I'm not having this sense of needing to be executing the whole time. I let my mind be fresh and open. That availability is cut if you're all the time in this execution mode, this doing mode. So yoga is this movement from doing to being. In that beingness, freshness. And with inhalation, coming to the center. And now we can just taking a cross-legged sitting position and just taking a moment in this meditative posture and just feel how you are. Are you feeling more energetic, more expressive? Just being new each and every moment. Every time you're not bringing your conditions, everything becomes new. And that energy flows. And you can just open your eyes and keep this freshness throughout your day. And I wish you a very pleasant, nice day. And see you in the next videos to practice together. Namaste.